Before we go any further, I would like to give a special word of sadness to the passing of voice actor Dick Jones. You all know him as the voice of the Disney classic Pinocchio, but I actually knew him from a lot of B-rate Western movies. He always played the good guy. He was a hero. He was a child actor who grew up into not a great actor, but a very fun one who brought a lot of energy and enjoyment to the screen. And I had a lot of fun with his movies as a kid and even as an adult. To his family, I say, Dick Jones, rest in peace. You were a great talent. You will be missed. And now that that's over with, let's cue title scene. Gokukoku no Brynhildr is a 2014 romantic sci-fi anime. Now, if that seems like an odd combination, it is. And sadly, we have seen the combination of teen romance with a lot of things that teen romance should not go with. Rather, it's vampires, alien invasions, zombies, witches, and of course, weird technological apocalypse stories. The concept of fusing the thing that does not belong in the action genre and making it the forefront while just making all the action and cool stuff the background has become a trend that unfortunately is not going away, and that is present with this series. And from what I saw watching it, a lot of people did not like it. They said it had potential but just went to shit. A lot of people really are not happy with it and thought it was terrible. And me, I liked it. Well, let me reiterate this. I see all the problems, I see all the complaints. They are valid. We'll get to that in a minute, but for right now, let's start with the plot. The series revolves around our main character, Murakami, or Murakami, or everyone says it a little bit differently. And basically, his big thing is that when he was a child, he had a friend, Kurino, or Kurinar. People talk way too fast in this show to make it easy to understand. But the thing is, basically, these two were childhood friends, and this girl was obsessed with stargazing because she wanted to find aliens, and one day when the two were looking for aliens, she, of course, naturally falls to her death. Because, you know, the situations that allow children to fall to their deaths just happen so often. But essentially what ends up happening is Murakami apparently goes the rest of his life sort of obsessed or guilt-ridden or just always thinking about this, and because of this, one day when he's in high school, a new transfer student comes who looks exactly like the dead girl. Is it zombies? Is it ghosts? Is it aliens? You will find out, and that's about all you find out. That's right, the series actually looked really cool and really interesting, and to be perfectly honest, I just wound up finding this because I was waiting for Yu-Gi-Oh! RB Episode 1 to get subbed. So I wasn't really sure what to expect going into it, and coming out of it, I actually had a lot of fun with this. First up, the characters themselves. Murakami is pretty boring, and I don't think it's on purpose. He doesn't seem to follow in the realm of characters who either lack a personality or are just so monotoned you can't help but hate them. He's definitely someone where there's potential there for a great character, but he's bogged down way too much in exposition and spends way too much time just talking and explaining things. I feel like if we didn't just introduce him through the drama, you would have had a much more concrete character. If we showed his personality, showed his psychology beforehand, and then introduced it, maybe things would have been a bit more balanced out, and the character would have been a bit more enjoyable. Nevertheless, he is cool. He's very intelligent, very resourceful. He can think on his feet. He solves a problem. He wants to do good. He wants to be a good person. I thought all that was translated well, and I did connect and understand the character. I just think if he was balanced out a little bit better, other people would as well. From there, we get Kuraha, or Kuroneko. Everyone says it a bit differently. I actually really enjoy this girl. Basically, her and other characters throughout the series were held as lab rats and have been turned into these mutants called witches that all have different powers via a device on the back of their neck. Her big thing is she can make things explode. Sounds pretty simple and kind of boring. Actually, it isn't. They do a lot of really interesting things with this. There's different degrees and intensities. They introduce a very well done and very fascinating plot concept as a cost for her powers. And I like the way they chain it with her emotions. It's not just I'm angry, things explode. It's not just I'm sad, things explode. There definitely was a way and pattern to the way the powers work, and it was just fun imagining how they worked. And the same goes for the other characters. All the characters in this have very fun moments throughout the episodes. Unfortunately, that is kind of where our problem leads. The plot doesn't really seem very concerned where it's going or what its focus is. Sometimes it's just these weird slice of life little adventures the characters go on, which are fine, because again, these are characters who I do like their personalities and I do want to follow them. But there's also another plot involving what looks like government conspiracies and big alien cover-ups and this really scary dude. And that's just infinitely more interesting, but unfortunately it's pushed to the background so we can just keep going on with the slice of life stuff, which again, wouldn't be a problem and it is interesting, but it all goes by very quickly. It feels like we just spend 5 minutes on any one subject, and then it's on to the next thing, and on to the next thing, and here's a new character, and let's make this some sort of weird mutant girl harem. And that's kind of where the series leaves off, as because the series spends so unfocused, and it's only 13 episodes, by the time we get to the end of it, the climax is very rushed. We don't get any time with our good villain, and any other characters or any other plot points that you want to know about or get explained just don't really get any resolution and are just rushed. And that's why I think people are really angry. The series teases everything so much and so well that by the time we get our answers, you either A, barely get one, or B, because it was built up so much, no action is satisfying. In fact, there's a really dumb resolution to everything with the alien stuff towards the end of it. I won't spoil it here because it's up to your own interpretation, but it definitely shows the problem with this show. Too much going on, too many cooks in the kitchen, not enough time on any one thing and one focus, which is sad because I want it to focus. I want to see these adventures. I want to keep having fun with these characters. I really enjoyed them, and not a lot of other people did. Does this show probably set stuff up for a season 2? Probably. Will there be a season 2? Probably not, but if there is, I'd check it out. I enjoyed this show, and I had fun with it, so sue me. It's a simple little story, and it's not really trying to be a big, epic thing until the end where things devolve and get messed up, and it does leave the show with the rating of 6 out of 10 on the sci-fi scale. An enjoyable show, some fun characters, and some really brilliant moments, but it could have been a lot better, and everything could have come together. And what do you think could have come together? In the comments section below, tell me what you thought of this series and other animes where you thought it had something, but didn't really go where it should have gone with it. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe because tomorrow we take on the big gun of 2014.